hail and well met, everybody. Welcome to the Gatehouse for the Knights of the Gizmonic Order. I'm your Grandmaster Gizmo. Tonight, I'm doing a special video for an analysis of the last mission of the Unknown Origin track from the BattleTech Flashpoints. This is the Standoff II mission where you have to fight Kerensky and Bounty Hunter. In this mission, I got my butt kicked, like absolutely hammered. But what I want to do tonight is do an analysis of that mission. I'd like to sit down, walk through, talk about what happened, what I did well, and what I didn't do well. And, I want to be the first to point out those opportunities where I totally miffed it, or those opportunities where it's like I had no control and bad luck just really ruled the day. So I do want to start off with just real quick saying a thank you so much for watching. Hope that this is going to be helpful for you, and we will just go ahead and jump in here and get this going. So give me a second, and here we go. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. So this is all, sorry, I'm just making sure my video, I can't hear the video in the thing, so I apologize. Obviously, that's me below. um, but I do want to just kind of give an option here. So all the video you're seeing here, except for the shield and me, is all from the original broadcast. So let's go ahead and see. So we pretty much put out the best lance we could. I mean, this was the heaviest mechs, the most armored mechs, the most armed mechs that we had. This is sort of like with the best pilots. This was my original crew that's been with me since day zero of my mercenary company. So, so yeah, so Bounty Hunter and Black Widow, obviously going to be a tough fight. All right. Yes. Cheers. And no, it won't. Okay. All right. So the first thing here is I'm doing what I can to stay in cover because I have bulwark, and so I'm at least getting 40% damage reduction for everything that I'm taking. So the first thing I did was move all of my mechs into cover. Now, the problem here is it's very teeny space, and so any stray shots are absolutely going to hit something else, which is another problem. So I sort of set myself up for a little bit of a disaster there. Also, the other mechs are, okay, so you look at that, actuator wrenched, movement slowed. Yeah, everything that they do, I mean, like the damage that Kerensky did here was ludicrous. Every time that she hit, something else broke on my mechs. Let's see, look, 40% damage reduction. We did a really good job. I got a Battle Master. I've got, Bull Shark. I got an Orion and a Highlander. Not, schlubs here. They're bringing an Archer. I mean, an Archer is a 70-ton mech, okay? Yeah, it's got a gazillion missiles. And they packed it with burning gel, something that was not available anywhere else that I went. So now, so one of the things here that I know is going to happen was that the bounty hunter was going to show up, and that Kerensky's Black Widow company was eventually going to fight bounty hunter. That was going to happen. I thought that they were going to do a little bit more in that space than they did. They got a Marauder and an Archer. That's it. Now, both 100% armored, right? I mean, good. But I mean, look at all that armor loss, and you got a head hit. I mean, now this is looking good, right? Annihilator. Yep. And they're going after the bull shark. Head hit, pilot injured. Crap. That's not a good thing for us. Yeah, so we couldn't move. We weren't going to get any evasion ticks because that space that I was in was far too small. I did not do a sufficiently good job at the beginning of this battle, this engagement, looking at the terrain and what we could do around it. We might have been better off to go up around that corner and go into the cover that's over on the other side of that because there's a lot more of that there. This space, you can't really see it. I'm gonna highlight it with my mouse, but you can't really see it. But to the left of where my mechs are, on the other side of that ridge, there was a lot more cover over there. So a lot more opportunity for us to potentially do indirect damage, which would have been a lot better in this particular case because there certainly are a lot of guys there that are shooting us with really, really, really heavy weapons. Um, Also, I mean, we had indirect fire. Now they had an archer, which is going to be launching 40 missiles at somebody every single time it fires. But at least it would have been something. Okay. So now we're still targeting the archer. We're trying to put down one mech. This is the one thing that I think what I was trying to do really well was I was really focusing my attention on one battle mech and trying to get now. See, look, he's having some problems here. Now here comes Bounty Hunter. Now Bounty Hunter should immediately engage Black Widow. I mean, look at them; they're right there. There's not that much distance between the two of them. All right. So now at this point, I would have expected them to start engaging Black the Bounty Hunter. Instead, they keep shooting us. All right, look at that. All of that stuff. Sensors impaired, actuator damage, more sensor impaired. She, yeah, every time that she shot us, it was far more devastating than I would have expected because, and this is the one thing that I think that I didn't know, was that they had special abilities that they didn't have the first time I fought them. So over the course of time, as we've been doing these things, they got better skills and they were able to do stuff that we didn't have before. So they were ignoring, yeah, that burning gel is just knocking our heat through the roof. So not knowing again that he had Inferno gel and she got knocked down, yeah, it was just bad. Now the bounty hunters are attacking us instead of attacking Black Widow. We are suddenly the people that are attacking now, which doesn't make any sense. The Black Widow is like right there in front of them, and they focus their attention instead on us. If we had been on the other side of that ridge, I think we would have avoided having that as a problem. I think we would have been it would have been more like, here's Black Widow, or here's us, here's Black Widow, here's Bounty Hunter, and they would have been fighting against each other rather than us because of where we were with Black Widow and Bounty Hunter. We were almost like an equal target to attack. To attack. The other problem was we really couldn't move out of the way because at this point we're stuck in cover, trying really hard to stay in cover and not get 40% more damage every time that we walk around. So at this point, I'm pinned in um, because I don't really have a choice. Oh yeah, the artillery. Oh, I love that long tom. I love that long tom. Um, Area effect damage is just nice. But again, so all of Black Widow comes down and begins to focus on my lance. And look at that. There's just, they're blowing the Battle Master to pieces. I mean, you look at that the armor on the Battle Master, and it's half. It's less than half now. All right, now they're starting to attack Black Widow. Oh, there we go. That's a nice one. But look at the damage. I mean, the leg is got no armor. The center torso has no armor. The fact that she's like still walking is amazing. All right, so I'm trying to move her out of the way because she's just worked. Well, this is the Atlas. The problem is, again, I'm just stuck. I mean, I really can't move I can't move my mechs in her because that space is just way too small. That was a tactical error on my part. And now I move the Atlas forward. 100-ton mech, plenty of armor on it, right? We're going to target the Archer. Right? Yep, we're targeting the Archer because he's already in bad shape. Hopefully we're going to be able to blow up something on this dude. Absolutely the right move to make. All right. Yeah, but we didn't knock anything out. I mean, we knocked out a couple. We damaged some systems, but he did not lose anything. We didn't knock out a torso. We didn't knock off an arm. Nothing. He did not end up in a position where he was. And so look, he's still got all of his appendages in essence. There we go. Finally, we blew off both torsos. All right. So that was our opportunity. That right there. Now that Archer is in essence, and all he can do is run up and kick us. Okay. But that's Kerensky knocking all of our stuff out again. Again, just completely ignoring, in essence, ignoring all of our armor and shooting us and shooting through and damaging the components. Now, the other thing that's interesting about like those things like actuator wrench, I have never seen that quirk before, ever. Okay, so now he attacks that and he blows up the Archer that we already started off on. So their Archer destroys Kerensky's Archer and shoots Kerensky in the back. All right. So again, looking good for us because now Bounty Hunter has started to engage us. Except Black Widow continues the fight against us directly and destroys the leg on the Battle Master with that. At that point, Haas already is really heavily damaged. Personally, she's already taken a head hit. She's already taken a fall hit. She's now going to take another fall hit. So that's 3 injuries to her right now. Okay. And now they're going to target her again. And they blew up the head. And there goes my Battle Master. So now I'm down a mech. I'm down an 85-ton mech. And Black Widow still has 3 mechs. Bounty Hunter still has 4, and I just have 3, and those 3 are not doing hot. Now, this is just frustrating to me. I mean, this dude, I mean, it's a freaking rifleman, man. And then they took out Kerensky because they shot her from the rear. Oh, hello. Come here, sir. Yes. All right, come here. Gotcha. All right. Come watch my video with me. Okay. So now we've got 3. Black Widow has 2, but Bounty Hunter still has 4. And Black Widow is still really too focused on me and not Bounty Hunter. So again, this is my failure, and I got stuck in that little tiny piece of cover, and did not do a good enough job of keeping track of where we were and everything. So I really, kind of blew it on this one. Now this is where I'm attacking. I'm thinking about attacking the Marauder because it's the closest thing to me, and also it's damaged. Unlike all of their stuff, which is not damaged at all. But I recognize, I mean, this Archer is going to be a problem. Those LRM-20s are a big, big problem for us. And now here comes the Annihilator, and he's going to attack us instead of Bounty Hunter. So he attacks the Bull Shark and does a huge amount of stability damage. And look at that. That's 3.5 ticks of stability damage. That's ludicrous. I did not use vigilance. I did use precision shots a couple times. And now look, Bounty Hunter is going after Black Widow, as they should. But Black Widow is still focused on me. If I had not been that close in that space, I feel like we would have been able to get around that, and it wouldn't have been quite so bad. All right, well, he hit that. Good job. He has no support weapons whatsoever, so he doesn't do anything else on top of that. I gotta stick some machine guns on him. You gotta stick machine guns on the Atlas or something. Oh, look. So he's right here. He's got a huge amount of stability damage. If we can just get him a little bit more, we'll knock him over. All right, and that should be enough to knock him over right there. Right torso destroyed, right arm destroyed. So that was a good thing, and he got a knockdown. So that was good from that perspective. So that we got 3 mechs here, all 3 of them heavily armed, heavily armored, and we've just knocked down that that thing. Now here's the problem: armor bypass. That's Bounty Hunter right there, and when he shoots you, everything hits your internal structure. So he easily blows things off. And that was a skill I did not know he had until it happened. And that's a problem. I mean, you needed to know that. So here comes the rifleman. Now, rifleman, I mean, the armor on rifleman generally is tissue paper. So it shouldn't be too terribly difficult to kill him. But then he goes after me. Instead of shooting the Annihilator in the back, he comes after my lance. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. So that was just some bad luck on my part. Because he should have gone after the Marauder, actually. I mean, the Marauder is already down. It is an easy target, and instead, or the Annihilator, which has his back to him, and instead he goes after my lance, and not because of any ranges. I mean, he's far enough away from that Annihilator that it shouldn't be a problem. I love that long tom. That is so cool. All right, so we did a really good job that we shot that artillery piece and knocked and did some serious damage to those guys. And you can't use that all the time, but it is an awesome weapon. And if you can get it and you can keep it away, you can do some serious damage from a distance. And he blows and he hits the left leg, just completely mauls it. Yep, and then he falls down. So there goes my bull shark. Now my bull shark is on the ground, which means Bounty Hunter is going to come over and he's going to kill my bull shark that's on the ground. Oh, nope, he didn't actually. Nope. Oh, yeah, hold on. Yep, you knocked him down. You knocked down the Annihilator. Pilot injured. Okay. And he got a hit. Yep, head hit. All right, nice. Wow. Okay, so not so good stuff happening here. We've lost 1 mech, our Battle Master, 85-ton mech. We've lost our Bull Shark is on the ground, and getting smacked. Now here, I probably shouldn't have attacked him physically. I should have shot him because I had no heat at all, and I have an Atlas, so I can do some serious damage with the Atlas that I should have done. And instead, I opened my backup to the Annihilator. That was a tactical error on my part, and to the rifleman right behind him. So that was just not smart play on my part. And still at this point, remember, Bounty Hunter's got 4 mechs, Black Widow has 2. That was just that was a bad decision on my part. That was another tactical error. Oh, here he goes, and stomp, blew up the right arm on my bull shark. Yep. So I still got to get my bull shark up, right? Except that dude attacks me. right? And pretty much the Marauder attacks me and pretty much messes me up completely. Now the Rifleman comes to play, and he's going to shoot at he does a coolant flush, and then he shoots the Annihilator, but not a lot. I mean, he's only got a couple AC5s and lasers, so it's not like he's got a whole amount. So now my Bull Shark is up, okay? But he has no weapon systems. He has no weapon systems. At this point, I guess he does have a couple things. I mean, we're not really doing it. We really can't do a whole lot with this guy. And he's in serious hurt. His leg is gone. I should have vigilanced at this point, and that was an error on my part. I should have done vigil. I had full resolve. I should have done vigilance and cleared out his thing because he was wobbly. And there we go. And left torso destroyed. My pulse laser in the back of the Atlas. Not now again. Yeah, the Marauder here for some reason seems to be completely able to ignore all of us. And he just blew up. He just blew up the third mech from Kerensky's unit. And that Marauder, remember, is in really, really bad shape. But bounty hunters have been touched. I've got two mechs that are in okay shape, and one mech that's in bad shape, and one mech that's disabled. So at this point, we are just not doing a good job. We're just not looking good. So I'm gonna do what do you call it? A called shot here. Center torso. Okay. And that guy goes down. So now Kerensky's unit is down. That's good. All right. Now, it's 2.5 against 4. Not good odds for us. And one of them is able to ignore armor. Okay, so everything he hits is internal structure, which really sucks for us. All right, so now he's going to move to here. There we go. And then we're trying to figure out who to attack here. It looks like he's got the best, he's got the most damage on him so far. And we pretty much hit everything in center torso on that guy. So we do a huge amount of damage. And he survives. And that's that. Ammo explosion, pilot injured. And that's it. The Bull Shark is down. So now I've got 2 mechs against 4 mechs, and the 4 mechs, only one of them has really any damage to it. All right, and then here comes the Archer. And he's dead. That's it. Oh, no. Yep, and they got rid of the Atlas on the previous round. So the Atlas went down because they ignored the armor. And then the second one, it goes down because well, he's just the Bull Shark is just horribly damaged. At this point, it's like, we may as well just, so I coolant flush to try to get something going on. And then we try to shoot this guy in the chest again. And we hit everywhere, but we do finally knock down the Archer. But now we've still got the Rifleman, the Atlas, and the Marauder. Okay, and the Atlas is untouched, and he hits the head. Bad luck for me. And that's it. And that is the mission. So, yep, mission failed. So the challenge here is that we got some bad luck, but there were some tactical errors, and we'll go over those in just a second. All right. So I think the couple things that I would recommend here that you want to take a look at from this mission's perspective and how we would analyze this as sort of a post-action report is that we bunched up way too tightly. I probably should have taken the mech with the long tom and moved it around the corner again into that other space to give number one the mechs that were in that front space. Even if I put 1 or 2 mechs there, I would have had more maneuverability there. It would have been a lot better for the overall mission. And the other mechs could have been on the other side, and again, we would have had some evasion, we would have had some movement. It would have been a little bit more difficult. That said, all of these guys, and I recognize this, all of these guys were expert pilots. They were elite. So the likelihood that one or two evasion ticks was going to have any bearing on them was really small, especially because we were bringing such heavy mechs to bear. So again, sort of like it's one of those trade-offs you have to make of, look, they're gonna hit you because they're that good. And so if you've got 3 or 4 evasion ticks, it's not gonna matter. They're gonna hit you because they're piloting and their gunnery skills are tens. So they're going to get through it. So you can either suck that up or not. When you're talking about assault mechs, especially, one of the things they typically do is they just stand there and brawl. Now, because they don't have a lot of movement. I mean, an Atlas is 353, so it's not going to be able to move a whole lot. Um, but the idea, though, is that you really want to try to find a way that you can move to keep positioning yourself in a way that you're going to be able to block certain enemies. So you saw that giant rock in that space. Actually, let me go bring it up here real quick. Hold on a second. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So there's this big rock here right behind the Annihilator. You can see that big rock there. That actually was blocking line of sight. So if I had been able to get that, or if I had been able again to kind of get behind the rock on that far left side right there, that ridge, I would have blocked line of sight for at least some of those direct fire weapons, the AC-10s, the AC-20s, the PPCs, the large lasers. All of those weapon systems would not have been able to hit me. I would have gotten the crap pummeled out of me with the LRMs. But that's it. And if you're behind there, LRM's only doing 4 points of damage. If you're taking only 40% of that, you're only taking 2 points. That's a lot more palatable than taking an AC-20 in the face. So again, from a tactical perspective, I absolutely should have had those guys on the other side of that ridge, or at least some of them on the other side of that ridge, especially the mech with the long tom, because that artillery damage is area of effect, and if you can get those guys to bunch together, you can do a butt ton of damage really quickly, and it's very powerful. So I love that weapon for that perspective. It is also very, you have to be careful about the platform it's on, i.e. the mech that's carrying it. That said, again, the two things that made this really challenging were Kerensky's ability to damage us, wrench our actuators so that we could not move effectively, and Bounty Hunter's ability to ignore armor. And let me tell you, ignoring armor on an Atlas, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't care how much. I mean, you doesn't matter because your endoskeleton is only so strong. So if you're ending up in a situation where that endoskeleton's getting taken 20, or an AC-20 hit or a PPC hit, which would be 10 points in the board game, all of those things, you're taking ridiculous amounts of damage to your internal structure. It's going to blow up. You're going to lose limbs, you're going to lose your head, and it's going to be a bad thing. So it's really critical that we find that you be aware of that skill that he has when you go in here. Personally, I think it was way overpowered. I don't think they should have allowed him to avoid armor at all. I think it should have been sort of the same things that Kerensky had. She had some things that were in that same vein that let her avoid some things. I'm just gonna look at it real quick, and I'll tell you there's some things that she has that she got that were allowing her to do that. So Kerensky had special skills that lower her to be hit, so they increased your dice roll, and can target specific systems so you can't, or yeah, specific systems you can't. So care is needed. And then Hunter can bypass your armor, right? Now that, I mean, again, ludicrous. Bypassing your armor. You're bypassing the armor on an Atlas, that's a huge amount of armor and one of the reasons I picked those mechs was because they had lots of armor. I thought we have a good opportunity here to actually fight this. And Bounty Hunter ended up just completely wrecking us. So some takeaways. Let's go back here. Some takeaways. Number one, be aware that those two have those skills. So Kerensky is going to make it harder for your mechs to move. Bounty Hunter is going to ignore your armor and attack your internal structure directly. Number two, be really careful about where you're going and keeping things. Sorry, I've got cat fur all in my face because of my cat in my face. um, be careful about where you're placing your mechs. Again, you're going to lose mobility because of Kerensky. You're also going to end up potentially getting stuck in a spot where you're not going to be terribly defensible. Now, cover is your friend, obviously. If you've got bulwark, if you've got anything, you're going to get that 40% damage reduction. Fabulous. That's what you want to do. But at the same time, you're going to want to try to avoid getting close to that open battle space where Bounty Hunter and Kerensky are going to be able to fight. So what I really recommend is actually withdrawing completely from that battlefield. LRM, indirect fire, or long tom or whatever the hell out of that space, but avoid closing in and getting close to that battlefield. Let them fight, which is what you're going to want to do. But the best thing to do is going to be to stay off either to that side so that you can get that cover and get the line of sight blockage from that giant rock, and then you can just indirect the hell out of people. Or when you are out of the way and those two are fighting, you can then wait for that battle to resolve, and then you can come in and mop up the excess. So those are kind of the two main things there. And again, be really careful about your heat and what you are choosing to, how you're choosing to attack. Remember, I had that one attack, I did a physical attack, and I absolutely should have opened up with my weapon systems. There's no reason to not fire at that Marauder at that close range and mess him up with that Atlas. He had no heat problems, and instead, I physically attacked, and then I missed. So some bad luck there, right? Bad die roll means I missed, and then I didn't hit him. If I'd hit that Marauder, I'm pretty sure he would have been dead. I didn't. That happens. I had a head hit. I got a head hit that destroyed one of my mechs. I got another head hit that destroyed one of my mechs at the very end of the mission. So some bad luck there, right? I mean, some of it you can say, okay, called shot head, and you've got a 10% chance to hit, and guess what? You did. Okay, that happens. But the fact that Bounty Hunter did it and managed to get the head hit meant that there was, 100 points of damage going into a cockpit that could take three. In essence, you've only got a little bit of internal structure in that head, and so there was just not enough to handle it, and destroyed it. So that battle mech was pretty much untouched, except the head was gone. Which actually reminds me of a battle that I ran with my best friend when we were in college, and he actually got a headshot on an archer, practically untouched. I mean, the archer like comes stomping down. He's like, "Yeah, I got you," and then somebody shot it. I forget, maybe it was like his Shadowhawk or something. Anyway, he hits it and destroys the head. One shot just killed it, and the whole thing just falls over. And he's like, "Oh my god, I got an archer." I'm like, "We got to find a head." But yeah, you got an archer. So, um, kind of some amazing things like that. And that was what happened. I mean, in essence, just bad things happen. So, I hope this helps a little bit with some of the tactics, some of my failings as a commander at that point. I lost a mech warrior. Childers, the last guy who got killed, or whose mech went down, he got killed. It was KIA. The other ones, I mean, I lost all those mechs. I lost tons of money. I lost a lot of stuff. And all of that stuff was because I was not playing smart when I played that mission. So I hope that this helps you when you're doing your missions, and that you can learn from my mistakes, and also maybe take a little bit from my successes. I mean, we took that archer down pretty quickly. And one of the things, again, what I recommend is, focus your fire on one mech until it goes down. Fire at your target until it is down, and then you move on to the next one as much as possible, because you want to get that guy off the field. Because even without weapon systems, these guys, and if you're not running especially if you're not running like the extended commanders edition that I'm running now for BattleTech, um, there's no panic system. Those guys will go until you destroy their mech utterly, which is pointless. There's no way that would not be happening. I don't care how loyal you are to House Liao. You're not gonna like run around in a locust that has no weapon systems and go up against medium mechs, or say, run around in an archer that has no weapon systems and go run around with assault mechs. No, because you're going to die, and you don't want to die. So you take your mech off the battlefield. That is one of the main failings I see with this game right now, is that simply the realism of it is enemy forces don't withdraw, and they would, because battle mechs are expensive pieces of equipment, and the last thing you want to have happen is to have them fall into somebody else's hands. So anyway, thank you so much for coming along. I hope this helps, and I hope that you get some value out of it. If you do, please drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Also, please drop a like and subscribe, that kind of stuff. Really appreciate that. Let me know what you think. I do want to do some more of these kinds of things, but I also want to do some more background stuff on BattleTech and 3025, 3026. I want to let you guys kind of, this is my era for BattleTech, and I want to share that knowledge with you. And I hope that you're going to come along on that journey. I'm going to be dropping new videos relatively often. I'm going to try to do it a few times a month, maybe once a week. Um, but I definitely want to try to see what we can get done and hopefully get you guys something that's going to be worthwhile. So thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Again, cheers. Thanks for coming along. Again, hopefully you'll stop by the stream. I stream on Twitch and on DLive, but also, do the stuff below if you get a chance to. So cheers, and we will catch you next time. Until then, see ya. Bye.